Hi Sagittarius, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. If it's your first time here, welcome. Super happy to have you. Just want to firstly say that this is going to be a longer, lengthier message for sure. Your guides have called me to pull 5 different decks for you, and I have a bit of things to go over. So get cozy, get comfortable, and we're gonna dive in. Always remember that anything that I'm saying is just for your best and your highest good. So only take what fits you in your story, what resonates, and leave what does not. We're all different beings and individuals on our different journeys, on different timelines. So just be kind, be gentle with yourself, and make sure that you're always staying in alignment with what is true to you, and what you need at this time and all times. So I feel like my light's a little weird. Okay. There we are. Okay. So if you are a Sagittarius, then this is obviously for you, this is a Sagittarius reading. However, I am getting a lot of your opposite energy. So if you're a Gemini, or have a Gemini moon, this is also for you, very heavily. And yeah, this is all about action, movement, what is taking place up until for this point that we're at now, what we're about to be moving into based on the actions that you've been taking from past until present at this time, and then how that's directing you and where it's put you in this moment. So diving in for Sagittarius, that was just a very fast car outside, so some of you guys might be in the midst of travel, but that's also Sagittarian energy. Here we go. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day be at my side to light and protect and guard and guide. Amen. I don't know why that felt so weird coming out. That could be significant too. You might just feel like maybe you're stumbling over things a little bit right now, or things don't feel as, I'm hearing, kosher as they normally would. So I have channeled messages for you. I'm gonna go ahead and dig into those and give you what I received via meditation, that God wants me to relay to you, and then we're going to go in order of the messages that they gave me, and what your guides want you to see. There's 8 different points that are really crucial at this time, which is uncanny and obviously not a coincidence, because today is the 8th. It's August 8th at 11:03 p.m. And we are in a Leo new moon, so we're in power energy as well as action and movement energy, which is very much you and very much Leo. There's a heavy duality happening at this time as well. So I was getting something about a cyclone energy, and then if you Google cyclone, in meteorology, a cyclone is a large air mass that rotates around a strong center of low atmospheric pressure, counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere, as viewed from above. Cyclones are characterized by inward spiraling winds that rotate about a zone of low pressure. So, you could be having an internal spiral. I'm not gonna lie, that is a lot of kind of what the message overall is for you at this time, and we're gonna help you shift out of that and maybe see and recognize parts that you haven't been, that's been a little bit more difficult, or that you have and maybe they just need to be a little bit further acknowledged. But then also I was seeing like a character. I don't know if it's from a movie or something, where it's just like one eye in the middle of their face, and I feel like his name was Cyclone. I don't know if that's a movie or not. If it is, somebody can put it down in the comments. But even with that energy, I'm getting something super heavily about your third eye, about your focus, you needing to see things more clearly, and really just pay attention to your foresight, what's in front of you, and taking larger steps for the future rather than just now. There's heavy emphasis on this Sagittarian collective being very 3D based in regards to what's happening in front of you at this moment versus looking at the larger picture of what's important, what's intentional, what will be beneficial to you and conducive for your movement forward. I was getting something about 48 Laws of Power. You could be reading that book, or it's a book that you should, I don't know, maybe try to start if you're into reading. Even if you're not into reading, I'm getting that's really good for you at this time. I was hearing imminent, so at any moment, something that's taking place that there's been a build up to is going to happen at about any moment. That could, you be in a space where maybe you start to have a bit of an anxiety attack because there's been things and pressure that's building that you haven't necessarily acknowledged or taken proper precautions for. That could be, you're moving at any time and you realize that you're going to move, but maybe you haven't packed your bags fast enough, something like that. So it could be anything amongst the scale of different things for people, as I was mentioning, but something about something being imminent. I was getting Skittles Taste the Rainbow, but I was specifically seeing the Skittles commercial where they show the guy or the girl pulling a Skittles off of his face. I'm gonna link that video below for you so that you can watch that. She was pulling the Skittle off his face, and he was super timid in speaking with her, making it seem like he didn't, really know what it is that he wanted to say. He didn't feel that confident, which kind of goes back to me stuttering a bit over my prayer, which I normally don't do. And so something about him that is true to him, it was almost like he was a little timid in saying it in front of whomever this girl was. And so she pulled the Skittle off of his face and she was like, Skittle pox, and she ate it and she was like, are they contagious? And he was like, I don't think so. So there's an energy here too of you maybe feeling a little bit out of your comfort zone, out of your element. There's something about you that's a little bit different. There might be changes that you're going through that you're not necessarily used to at this time, or where you're not feeling like you're as confident, as strong, as sturdy as you normally would be. Whatever that means for you. But as soon as you taste the rainbow, as soon as you step into more of this 5D energy, going back to only being in the 3D, and you are more in your spiritual element, more in connectivity with God and the universe and what it has to offer you, is when you will start to see rainbows. You'll start to see life in a different perspective, in a way that is beneficial for you, but also very comforting to you, as well as having someone who is just as supportive on the other end of that, be it a person, being you're having a stronger connection with God, your ancestors, your guides, or within a community of that sort. So I'll link that below. Make sure that you definitely watch that video because it's super significant to now. I was getting that Skittles commercial specifically, and at the end of it, it said contract the rainbow. So it's, again, heavy energy about you getting in contract with yourself on serious terms about what's important to you, what's intentional, what changes you want to make, and how you want to mold where you are right now for your life going into the new year, because we are approaching a super moon on the 19th, which is going to be extremely significant to your actions, intentions, and what it is that you feel is imperative for yourself and your growth at this time. Going back to the energy, I was getting something about being worried about your image. You could be worried about your image or how you're coming off here at this time. I was hearing from dusk till dawn. Maybe you might have been working on something or are up all the time from dusk till dawn. Something about improper boundaries. If you think about boundaries, obviously there are parameters that we set up for ourselves to make sure that it's only things that are in direct alignment with us that are able to penetrate and be welcome into our space so that we have a healthy life. But there's something about your sort of putting up boundaries against the wrong people, or situations or scenarios. Maybe that's like you saying you don't want to go to a networking event, or to a birthday party where you feel like there's going to be people there that you're not used to being around but are like in high positions, or carry themselves really well. And maybe that is something that is a little bit intimidating to you, or you don't really like speaking too often, or you might be in this phase of like trying to change your look and you're not super comfortable in your aesthetic or whatever it is, but you'll go to hang out at your friend's house with people who have kind of been doing the same things over and over again and aren't really too focused or keen on changing the cycles that they've been rotating in. Again, put yourself where it fits. This could be a bigger message for you. It could be something smaller. It could be the direct example I'm giving, or it could really just be you not allowing yourself to be in spaces that are good for you, but staying in spaces that aren't very great for your development, but it's comfortable for you. So something about improper boundaries in that regard, and definitely needing to I'm hearing recalibrate what is that you feel like is good for you now and good for you later. 11:11 on the clock as I say that. As we grow, things are going to change all the time. So if you're going in a spiral inwardly within yourself, it's kind of like, well, let's look at these things as to why and what it is I'm letting within my space that's keeping me in these spirals and continuing to swirl me in a circle. I was hearing slow down because you're missing a step. This goes back to energy of your, I'm hearing willy-nilly, kind of just like going with the flow of things, being in the 3D, kind of just ready for the next thing. But it's imperative that you pay attention to the steps that you're taking. Not to say that everything is a guidebook or a rule book. We're not like going off of a daily syllabus in that regard. However, it is important to pay attention to like what you're investing in, what you're watching, definitely what you're watching, because you have to be very mindful of other people's beliefs and how they stand and what they really, I'm hearing stand on. What is the saying that everybody's saying now? On business. If they stand on business or not, or do they say things and then they don't really follow what it is that they say, you know what I mean? So slow down, you're missing a step. There's a lot of wanting to do something and take action, but not necessarily having like proper protocol or having proper thought process in regards to how something's going to pan out, what consequences will be, because also again we have consequences for everything, good and bad. So just be super mindful of that. October 16th of 2021 could have been significant. Go back in your camera roll, your notes, your text messages, see what happened there. That's reflective of now. And also October 16th of 2023 if you don't have anything from 2021. I was getting the song Don't Stop Believin' by the band Journey, which is so crazy because this is obviously talking about you being on a journey at this time. 11:14 on the clock as I say that, 14 Sagittarius energy, and you being in union with yourself and how to get there. The album is also called Escape, so you might feel like you are in this space of escapism at this time, or really wanting to kind of get out of, I'm hearing the box that you're in, the walls that you're in. You might not actually be stuck or still, because none of us truly are. However, whatever it is that you're managing or mismanaging at this time makes you feel as though you only have a certain level of area to cover, to get across, to explore in that regard. Something about your mind being on a loop again. I was hearing brush your teeth, but I'm getting this metaphorically. So something about you're needing to watch what you say, watch how you speak to yourself, watch how you speak to others. Everything that we put out into the universe comes back to us. So if it's difficult for us to, speak to ourselves in a manner of confidence, of respect, of love, of warmth, of compassion, of empathy, it's going to be harder for us to receive it from someone else who is speaking to us in that way, or for us to believe that they mean what they're saying because we're not even doing that for ourselves. So I'm hearing clean up your act. Definitely pay attention to how you're speaking to yourself, what you're doing. It's kind of making me feel like it goes back to that worried about your image energy. So if you're speaking to yourself in any way that would diminish your confidence, just be a little bit careful about that, because you are your own person. You have to sleep with yourself every night, talk to yourself every night, wake up to you every day. It's super important that you love you with all of your heart, because God does, I do. Like, you are a beautiful person. We all are growing and learning every single day. None of us can be perfect at all times. So just be gentle, be patient, be kind. I was hearing cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Something about you, maybe just, I was hearing you, something has your mind in a chokehold. So going back to that mind on a loop, you might be kind of like obsessive about something right now. It doesn't have to be in a bad way. It could literally be about you like in a new show or cookies, or it doesn't have to be anything that's super dark or negative. It can just be something that you literally cannot take your mind off of, your energy off, if you are consumed with whatever this is, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Something about 9:54 p.m. specifically, but 9:54 p.m. to 10 p.m. Set a reminder for that time. I was hearing close that door, and then I literally heard a door shut outside. It has something to do with you ending a cycle that you're presently in that needs to be put to a halt, that needs to be healed, that needs to be concluded. Some of you are being guarded just to show face, but you're not truly happy at this time. So, putting on a good front, making it seem like you're showing up because you need to, but it's not really how you're feeling at this time. If that is you, definitely get around some friends, family members, people that make you feel more comfortable in your space, whether you have on a hoodie and you're slouchy and your hair is not done, or, it's your best day and it's almost like it's your wedding day, you're so put together. Male or female, just take the energy as I'm receiving it. Something about you continuously hitting a wall or a door because there's something that needs to change. I was hearing hello again. Set an alarm for 6:12 p.m. as well tomorrow, or whenever you see this message. There's confirmation again about the cycle that you're presently in. And it'll bring light to the message of today, as well as changes that need to be made and what's going on. So from all those channeled messages, Sagittarius, now I'm going into more detailed information of what your guides have given me, what my guides have given me, and what it is that they want you to receive. So going back to that 6:12 p.m. energy, today is a portal. It is August 8 here. That's also breaks down to 16, which is a tower moment, something really big, massive change, something that really can like flip your world in the best way, or in a way that really kind of shakes you up and recognize what again needs to be changed. There is energetic cycles being rebirthed at this time. So depending on, like I was mentioning, what you've been doing from the past up until now, specifically even like the last 16 months up until now, will dictate how you need to be moving up until this super moon cycle, which is again on August 19th. Set a reminder, put it in your calendar. August 19th will be the super moon. And it's going to be the first supermoon of 2024. It will shine larger and brighter than any other we've seen this year, as well as its judgment call. So if you think about moon energy. It is Pisces energy. It's imaginative. It's what's been held behind the scenes, but you can't see, but it's extremely large. It's something that we can't miss. So anything that has been trying to hide at this time, anything you've been trying to hide from yourself at this time, as well, is going to be coming up and stirring up feelings for you in that regard as well. However, taking heed to information, taking heed to proper steps that you need to relate to, that you need to move within, will help you in regards to how to move forward, and how to help with these changes. July 30th could have been significant. Go in your camera roll for that as well. There was a cycle of emptiness there that was taking place and also needed to end by July 30th. So if you look in your camera roll, your notes, anything that you have about the 30th, it will show you what was causing a sense of emptiness, making you feel a place of lack. And then 3 days after that, which would have been August 2nd, would have created another illumination for you as to what this was, if you didn't make any changes or proper adjustments on the 30th that were being called for. It would have been something that kind of, smacked you in the face, or, made it a little bit of a wake-up call in a way of you saying, okay, you know what? Let me regroup, let me circle back and figure out what's going on here, because something's not sitting well with me and I need to pay attention to it. Yeah, and then going back to today, the 8th, all of this breaks down to 4 on both ends. So this is definitely about your actions, like I said, up until this point, specifically about the home. And especially if it hasn't been anything that is sitting well with your heart here, you might be dealing with a heartbreak. You might just feel like you're really separated from something or someone that normally would bring you a sense of happiness, a sense of stillness, or I'm hearing creativity that would really set you in that Skittles energy, feeling more colorful, feeling like there's more of a rainbow for you to connect to. I feel like there's more mental and emotional internal conflict that's happening at this time. Again, going back to the supermoon that's coming up on the 19th, it'll take place at 2:26 p.m. You don't have to write that down, but you can if you feel like it'll be helpful for you. But again, this moon will force change if you haven't been obedient up until this time about what you know needs to change, and you will know that innately for yourself, because it is what your mind has been on a loop about, because there's something in regards to you being shown over and over again, back to that hello again energy, about what would be helpful for you. 11:22 here on the clock. What would be helpful for you in your movement forward, what needs to change, what's bothering you. But if we continue to be in spaces where we don't acknowledge what's bothering us, we don't acknowledge where we're uncomfortable, we don't acknowledge why our mind is in such, I'm hearing, disarray, not moving forward to help us get to our most confident self here. 3 of Wands in reverse, Queen of Pentacles upright. You see here, she's super confident. She has the pentacle in her hand. She feels like she's golden. She has all of these wonderful stars and like a crown around her head. She's cloaked. She's in green, feeling like her heart chakra is lit up at that time. But if you're here and your back is turned to you and you're not taking proper steps to get in this position, then you're going to kind of continue to be faced with energy that doesn't feel that great. Not listening to your highest self, not listening to your guides, the Hierophant energy here, which is about higher education, knowledge, understanding, your home life, what is your fabric and what you grew up on. Also, for some of you, a lot of that is changing. The foundation of your home might be changing, just as well as your beliefs within that home and what you feel connected to. And home is metaphorical, could be literal. 7 of Wands just fell on the ground. So going back to you having up crazy, insane boundaries. And I'm also getting something about some of you might be a little bit more defensive in conversation at this time, depending on what people are saying to you. Yeah, if it's not in alignment with what you feel like you need to hear in the way that you need to hear it right now. But also understand that the way in which we receive information, criticism, and conversation is all based on, again, how we're seeing ourselves and how open we are to allowing ourselves to be in new spaces that could be helpful and show us a different part of us. So obviously, don't take anything from everyone. Be very mindful and discerning of what you receive in regards to context from people, but also know that whatever you're receiving, if it is coming from someone who you know you can trust, who you know loves you, it's coming from a good place. So I don't know what that's about, but definitely just be a little bit, more patient with you and how you receive information right now, because you are in a tender state and you do. I'm hearing you need a hug. Oh yeah, the sun in reverse. It's like you're not happy. Going back to the energy of you're not happy, but you're showing face at this time, but you're also going through a lot of healing. You might be, I don't think I can show this because she doesn't have clothes on, but if you look here, it's like she's coming out of the water. Her third eye is lit on fire, which goes back to that first message I had about cyclone energy. So something that you cannot escape, something that is truly making you almost hit your head against a wall, is doing that so that you can get closer to you, so that you can love yourself more. I'm getting first and foremost as well. Also, Google blue jays. Blue jays could definitely be significant for you at this